Those of you who have had ongoing exposure to individuals on the narcissistic scale know that these people can be thieves. They can be robbers. They rob you of your dignity. Inside you're saying, I want to be somebody. I want to be acknowledged and treated with dignity. That narcissist is thinking, nope, not when you're around me. There is only one person that matters, and it's not you. When you have repeated exposure over and over again with condemnation, insults, and judgment, as time goes by, it begins to wear you down. Even if you are a confident person, they can take that confidence and out of you and step all over it. Here, I want to talk about how you can reclaim your sense of respect as you understand several things about this narcissist who is wishing to take that away from you. I'd like to tell you of something that happened to me a couple of years ago. I was in the checkout line at the grocery store. Right in front of me was a stocky woman, and she was just giving it to the cashier. She was mad because the store had a card, and if you had this card, you could get discounts. She didn't have one and was very upset with that policy. So she was pointing fingers at the cashier, swearing and shouting. This lady had a harsh and very mean-spirited voice, and the cashier was just standing there thinking, what did I do? What's gotten into this woman? This was really bothering me, seeing this cashier being treated this way. So I took a gulp and I said to the woman, whatever is going on here, it's not working. This lady is doing a really good job of trying to be patient with you. She's not the one that made the policy, by the way. She is trying her best to be a reasonable person, and you are being terribly unreasonable towards her. I think you should just take your stuff and move on your way. This isn't right. Then she turns her anger onto me. She swore at me a couple of times right in my face, and said I wasn't the nicest kind of person, except she didn't say it quite that politely. Then she picked up her stuff and gave me the one-finger salute and moved on. The cashier and I looked at each other, and she began to cry. I said to her I was so sorry that that woman was so rude to her. She said, I'm not crying because of that. I'm crying because no one has stood up for me like you just did. It was a touching moment. When any of us have had an episode with this, like this with a narcissist, we wonder, why does this person have to do this? You can speak anger in a respectful way, but the narcissist just doesn't know how to do that. A person that has to be so controlling and harsh is a damaged person. If you go into their background, you'll find that they were on the receiving end of insults, criticisms, judgments, or conditional acceptance. They have learned that respect is not something that comes naturally. Narcissists don't define themselves as being respectable or a respectable person. They just don't understand the concept because they have had exposure to wrong patterns and wrong input. What else is going on? The narcissist doesn't see your humanity. They don't see you as being an individual with legitimate needs and with a background and with a family and with a cat or dog at home. They just see you as a being, as a function in that moment. They don't care about your needs when you don't fill their function. But when you don't fill it, well, here comes all the hurt and anger that they're just sitting on it. Sometimes with the overt and even the covert narcissist, there are times when their impulses can so take over that they just run with raw impulse and they don't think. Narcissists tend to be very low, self-aware people. And then when you add more poor impulse control, that's not a good combo. They unload their hurt and anger without thinking about the ramifications. When they rob you of your self-respect, they are trying to build themselves up with an attitude of entitlement. They are saying, hey, do you know who I am? Yes, you're a struggling person, aren't you? In their entitlement, they think that they deserve a whole lot more than what you are giving them. By putting you down, the narcissist is trying to build up their fragile ego and trying to establish superiority. It's not a good way of doing it, but people have been doing it for decades. This is a person who is a hurt little boy or girl inside. They haven't come to terms of what their humanity is all about, and they don't know how to speak into your humanity in a healthy kind of way. So what do we do when we encounter these angry individuals? First, let's acknowledge your sense of respectability is not a matter of public opinion. It's not a matter of a vote, such as, well, today you deserve respect, tomorrow, not so much. The narcissist wants to put themselves as being the ultimate arbitrator of that kind of truth, which is not truth at all, but frankly, they aren't the ones that hold the keys to the truth. Every single human being deserves dignity and respect. If other individuals don't realize that, it doesn't make that truth any less true. They don't have the final word on our inner sense of well-being. Don't respond when the narcissist speaks disrespectfully towards you. One of the ways that you know you have a good handle on your inner sense of well-being is hold on to your self-respect, and then you feel there is no need for you to rob another of theirs. It takes a lot of self-restraint. It's easy to be respectful when the person in front of you is acting exactly the way you want them to. But the mark of maturity comes when we maintain respect towards yourself and anyone else, even when we are not getting a good excuse to do so. It's a belief you want to hold on to that will override the mood of the moment. You can't afford to allow a very hurt and damaged person like this to drag you into their emotional cesspool. And they are in the deep end of the cesspool. As you see what it is, as you see it for what it is, you can decide and just step aside and say, I'm going to have my own unique beliefs. I'm going to be wise about this, and I want to be treated, and I want to treat other individuals with respect. I can't allow the narcissist to dictate to me. Sometimes, if the disrespect is so ongoing, you have to remove yourself entirely from the relationship. It's sad when that happens. Remember, respect, honor, dignity is part of your humanity and the people surrounding you. Don't go into the cesspool. Take care.